What is going on, Schmoedown community? Welcome back to A Certain Point of View here on a Sunday evening, and we are here to talk some Schmoedown. And boy, do we have something! It's not like anything big happened over this last weekend. I don't know, just some normal Schmoedown stuff. Here to talk about per usual. But we got the whole crew, and we have a super fun show planned for you all, and we're very excited that you are all with us. But crew, how's everybody doing Sunday? Brian, save your breath a little bit. I know you got a little bit of a cold, but ladies, how you
I got a congestion cold.
Boo.
I'm drugged up on all the quills. NyQuil, Dayquil, Peter Quill, everything.
I was gonna say, are you watching Guardians of the Galaxy while you're at it?
No.
We've all got drinks. You should put some NyQuil in a wine glass.
Oh my god.
How do you know this? It's some lean, some NyQuil and Sprite. Actually, I'm drinking a lot of Sprites, and I'm fine with Sprite.
Got that purple drink.
Wait, yeah, I was just gonna say, did you just tell everybody you're drinking that purple drink?
No, I'm literally drinking water. See,
hydrate.
Nice.
There you go.
You don't put ice. You don't put ice with lean, so obviously it's not. Just ignore me.
Molly, how are you doing? You had a pretty eventful weekend, yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. We had a friend that we haven't seen in a while come stay with us last night, and we went out, did a couple of fun things. We went to a brewery. I had something fun happen to me that's never happened before. The comedy show that we always go to, the theater, there's like steps going up to the main stage, and I was double fisting a drink and a water, and I tripped.
She said something cool.
Oh, something. Okay, then
no,
it's definitely not me.
Cool.
You actually tripped. Oh, you actually tripped.
Yeah, it's cool in the way that it was not cool. I tripped and I poured a whole drink on my head.
Oh, that poor drink.
Was it a cocktail or a beer?
It was a cocktail.
Either way, it's sticky.
And
it's not a good time.
How did I pour a whole friggin' drink on the top of my head? I'll never know. But I just stood there and I was like, well.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's so poopy.
And I wasn't even drunk at that time.
You've been hanging out with
later,
me for too long. We've been my aura has just. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Oh,
that's horrible. Can I just say, to address everyone's comments so far?
No, I was gonna bring it up. Stop it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up. Just stop it. Jill, how was your weekend?
Funny clip.
Good. I had my first spooky event of the season, which was a lot of fun. I went to Horror Nights down here at Universal Hollywood. They actually had Wizarding World open this year, which I don't think they've ever done for a Horror Nights where they had Wizarding World open. So I was
Why wouldn't they?
Because they don't usually have mazes over there, so they close it off during Horror Nights. But they had
a giant castle. Why wouldn't you?
I know, but they had it open this year, and we took so many pictures, and I was just in my happy place, and it was really great. I got a little scared once, so kudos to that one monster who actually kind of sort of got me.
Wow, Jill got scared?
But it wasn't like it was like you're in
startled.
It startled me.
I mean, that's what she's telling us.
No, there's a video. I can show you. but it
part
was
of
nice
me has always wanted to do one of those, but the larger part of me has been like, no.
Warming up.
Go with me. If you go with me,
I will pee my pants.
I'll walk in front of you. I'll protect you.
I'll spill a drink on you so no one knows.
The amount of that's fine.
That's teamwork right there, y'all.
The amount of screaming that would come.
That's
out
called
of
team
my
bonding.
mouth.
POV team bonding.
Yeah.
Got you.
Oh God.
So Brian addressed it, but I want to make sure I brought it up. There's a current conversation going on about bunk beds in my backdrop at the moment. These are not my bunk beds, Ryko. I see you throwing shade. I see you.
And Sean.
And no, Sean actually came to my defense. So thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. I'm currently at my parents' house right now. It's Mama Berlin's birthday today, and so I decided to stay here instead of rushing home and shoot from here. So everyone say happy birthday to Mama Berlin. So there you
Happy
go.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Don't get it twisted. He's lying to you guys. Him and Gabby just needed more space for activities, so they made bunk beds. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against the idea. I love me a set of bunk beds.
I mean, at the
yes.
rate that Kylo and Gabby take up your bed, I'm sure you wouldn't mind a couple of bunk beds.
Actually, these are Kylo and Rey's bunk beds. These aren't even mine. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
getting them off my bed so they don't take up my space.
Fair enough.
I want to pull this really quick. This might have been me, and I apologize if it was. might have been me. I used to be a scare actor there. So
I would
sorry,
probably.
not sorry.
I'm not lying. I would probably cry if I went to one of those things.
We're gonna get you there one day, Brian.
One day.
Oh no.
All right. Well, we obviously have a very, very fun show planned tonight. We have Friday to talk about. We're going to kick off the show with the Battlefield pay-per-view that happened on Friday with our special guest. We'll be getting into some Brendan Meyer and Jacoby Bancroft, and also discussing the James White match because we did miss that last week. So we're going to discuss that a little bit as well. And catch that, and we're all caught up after that. But let's just get to it because we want to make sure we talk to her as long as we possibly can tonight. Not only is she your brand new movie trivia Schmoedown champion of the world, but the first woman to hold the singles belt, Lady Justice herself, Marisol McKee.
Yeah.
Hey everybody. Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure you're still kind of catching back up and catching your breath from the moment and everything, but I'll just start with that. Is it surreal to be the singles champion of the movie Trivia Schmoedown? Because I know how big of a fan of it you are, and you have been. Is it like it's finally here? How do you feel about it?
It hasn't caught up. Like the moment happened and I believe that my body was present. I was watching it happen, but like watching it like the way you're watching things happen in Inside Out. It's just like it's almost just projected on the screen out there and it still really doesn't, especially I think because I'm back here and back home. And I think I had the belt getting shipped to another place. The belt still isn't even here yet, which I think it just because my apartment's not safe, so I had to ship it to my parents. And I think they said it came today, so I'm gonna go get it tomorrow. So everything, I'm just like, oh, I guess life is just back to normal. It is still slowly settling in. I think once I actually, it sounds really corny, but I think once I need to see it to believe it. I think once I hold the belt tomorrow again, I think it's gonna be like, oh yeah, that happened.
Oh right, this is a thing.
Are you used to everyone calling you champ yet?
No. I'm still looking around when it happens. I can't believe it. It just feels weird. Like it is something exclusive, and that's really hitting me. Like I was having a conversation with Dan Merle this past weekend. And he was saying specifically that he's like, you are part of a very small group of people right now. And he's like, and don't forget it. And like, once you're in that, you're never, you don't go in, like, you're in it, and I was just like, it was one, because Dan Merle's amazing in every single way, but two, because he's right. And it's pretty monumental, and it's still very humbling to find out, to realize that it has happened, that it's reality. So
I do have a question, but I want to make sure I get to these super chats before they scroll right past us. So first of all, Mr. Adam Collins stepping in. Thank you, Adam, as always. Cheers to the new and reigning champ. Long may she reign. People, book your tickets for the Brooklyn Corruption Invitational.
Damn right.
Also, let's all chip in and set up a Lomas Maze for Brian.
No.
Yeah. Yes,
I would.
Let's do it.
Oh my god.
Lomas Maze.
Yes.
Oh my god, Adam.
yes.
Brilliant.
Like he's the final boss you have to beat in the maze.
No.
Oh my
Final
god.
I was gonna say, is he at
I-
the end of the maze or just
No.
in it
Yes.
with him?
Oh my god.
You guys, God, I feel like he would just jump out at the beginning and chase me through the whole entire
He would
thing.
just follow you the entire way through.
Oh,
That'd be
God.
so good. All
No.
right, Tim Sim, I know that you also sent in a super chat. I have it saved here. We'll save it here for a little bit towards the end of the conversation. But next one comes from Kyle Beckworth. What an exciting championship match. Justice has been served. Thank you, Kyle, as always. So quick question here. Have you watched the match, the edited, fully complete version of it?
I did. I was able to watch it. I was able to watch it Friday night when it premiered.
Okay, so I wanted to ask about the beginning of it with the interviews that Jen did. What did you think about all that?
I hadn't heard any of those. I was hearing all of that for the first time because I was all the way in the
Mm-hmm.
in the janitor's closet of the cantina. So I didn't. So I didn't hear. I couldn't hear anything, and then I had the blindfold on too. So I was just like blind and deaf back there. I didn't know anything that was going on. And I didn't hear any of those. So I was hearing it for the first time watching it on Friday. And it had me like crying already before it even started. And it reminded me just how special the whole event was. And I was surprised that many people, it was really exciting to see how many people were really pulling for me. It was putting it all in perspective. And it made me think, it made me even happier that I didn't hear it before. Cause I was like, oh, I better not lose. Yeah,
Pressure.
I was like, because I could want it all I want to, and it could be exciting, and everybody could wish for it all I want to, but I have to play Ethan Irwin to get it. A very, very incredibly lethal Ethan Irwin. I mean, those are just synonymous. Ethan is never not lethal. And I had to earn it first before any of this. I wasn't entitled to anything. I don't deserve anything just because I'm a lady. I knew I was gonna have to just strip it down and just face him one-on-one, and just be the best competitor I could be against another competitor. And then I could say, and then I could celebrate, but not before.
Of course.
Jill, I'm going to shoot it to you next if you got something for her.
Yeah, so I'll piggyback off of those pre-interviews that they had.
Mhm.
So how did it feel not only to win the singles championship of the Schmoedown, but doing so live in the cantina with all of those heavy hitters who were there rooting for you during that entire thing?
Yeah, it was insane. I thank God I would have died if this were digital. I would have
Yeah.
I would probably like say I couldn't do it until I would just ask them to postpone it. I don't know what I would do. I would switch it around. I'll be like, can my match be the last match or something? I need to do this in person. I can't be sitting on my couch just by myself trying to process all this or trying to play a match like this. But it made it, a lot of people, I know there was so much talk. The big hot topic last year was to talk about, like these people who all came in digital, they probably can't even handle, like, who knows if they can even handle it when they get to the studio. That was a really big hot topic last year to talk about, which has disappeared this year because I think we've seen a lot of evidence to the contrary.
Yep.
But even before, none of that scared me. I knew that I always wanted to be in studio for textbook reasons. And then when I actually got there to the cantina, I realized in a whole nother way, I was like, no, I never want to, I only ever want to be in this environment. To be there and to be that close to be looking over, like you're saying, Jill, so many heavy hitters in there, to look over and see not people. I was meeting some people that I hadn't met I hadn't met before, but I was also seeing people who I had met before, and I had such great conversations to look over, and to be looking over and to see Mara and Dan and Janine, seeing Jen Kemp there, see Adam and all the people that I've gotten to know, the people that I've become friends with, and who are also just legends in the game themselves, it did the opposite of like psych me out. It just made me feel that much more like confident, and
Awesome.
and it empowered me in a lot of ways. And seeing people there like that energy, you just absorb it. It doesn't make me clam up or become more nervous. I'm nervous sitting on my couch just here by myself in a silent room, if anything. That's what sucks. But I just felt empowered and felt the life and the love of all those people in that room, and that just like fueled me up like nothing else can. And it got me through a lot of that. Got me through that first hump. It kind of woke me up when I started missing some questions really early on there. It woke me up really quick. And the goodwill and the energy and knowing how many great people were there, right there supporting me, really helped a lot.
And being there, you could definitely the energy was just through the roof that entire match. You could tell that a lot. No disrespect to Ethan Irwin, because he deserves every ounce of respect. That man is a freaking beast and a beast of a champion. But the Cantina, you could obviously tell that. I don't know what it is with Cantina matches. Apparently they're all corruption shills like myself. But any corruption match, it's like they're just head over heels over the moon about it, especially for your match, and just the energy in that room. Like when you missed a question, you could feel the oh no, and then when you got a question, when you were overhead or during the betting round, you could just, it was like, it's so hard to describe how that, just being a fan watching it was being a fan and feeling that emotion. I can only imagine what you were feeling up there and experiencing that energy.
It was blowing my heart wide open. My mind was staying focused. My mind was staying focused, but my heart was doing cartwheels. It was just like
couple comments have come through real quick. I want to make sure I bring these up. So first one comes from Peggy Govins. Hey Marisol, I'm pretty sure you know how much I adore you. I'm absolutely proud of your hard work and determination that got you to this point. Congrats, champ. See you someday. And then
forward to it, Peggy.
Another competitor as well, Christina Vassallo here. My Streamlabs won't go through, but here's my message. Congratulations, Marisol. Cannot wait to celebrate with you. A parade on Broad Street. You're amazing.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have a little Philly parade. I can feel it.
And then one super chat here from Mr. Ryko, Canada Rocks. Congratulations, Chap. Don't tell Roka, but your win just surpassed his as my favorite championship moment. I noticed you were shaking a bit on your three-pointer. Is that because you knew you had it?
Yes. It was because I realized when they asked the question that I knew the answer, and I needed a second to process, to actually have some silence in my brain, to center myself a little bit before I actually said the answer. And also I just wanted to just triple check. You know, it was a good question. It was a good question. You know, there's an Oscar winner, you know, Rachel Weisz is in that film, but keywords, I love the question. I love details in the questions, and I listen to everything when I'm playing, and I just love those. I love those keywords that make the answers very different. I mean, well, they said the name of the character, duh. I guess that's the most obvious thing. But for those people who don't have the time to memorize the name of every character in every film, something like Oscar nominee is just that's the kind of hint that, you know, you salivate over as a competitor. But yeah, I was shaking because I was trying to compose myself and trying to take a deep breath, and just trying to process that I was about to win the game.
I don't know how anyone doesn't answer with a giant smile on their face, like that winning question. Like,
right.
I would be freaking out. Like, if I knew the answer, I would be like laughing, or I would not be able to hold it in.
No.
Yeah. Well, I wish to God too that I could. I I had less of a poker face sometimes. I think I just need to be around crowds more and people more. And spend time in front of people more, because I'm just so used to just keeping everything, to just internalizing everything and just keeping everything there, because I'm not used to people looking at me. I'm not used to people casing what's happening on my face, or they're evaluating my body language or something like that, or what I'm doing. That's just not a territory I'm familiar with. You know, I don't do any kind of showmanship stuff in any way. And part of Schmoedown has been a lot of me trying to get more comfortable with that. So I feel really bad. I wish I could even make that moment even bigger. But in the moment, I'm just like, oh my God. Like I forget. In those moments, I know I still forget how I come across to people outside, which doesn't really sound that sexy or exciting, but
to be fair, I mean, I will say, because I was there, and so when you did repeat the question, because I know you're not going to pull as what they call it now, that you're not going to pull a Ben Bateman and just do like a I mean, Chance does the same thing, you know, repeat the question, even though you know it, just because you have your repeat.
It creates some dramatic tension sometimes.
It does. But
unless it's obvious that you're doing it.
Yeah. But when you did it, I was like, oh my God, does she not know? Does she not know this? So it like, for me, I was like, oh no, oh God, oh no. And then they were like, no, she has it. I'm like, does she have it? I hope she has it. So it created this moment of like, oh God, does it have to go to the 5? So it just literally heightened my anxiety, to be honest. It just really heightened my anxiety.
There you go. That's a good spin on it. I like that. Okay.
It heightened my anxiety. Very glad that you got that 3-pointer.
I didn't mean to rise your blood pressure, Jill.
It's fine. I forgive you. It's okay.
Molly, I'll go ahead and shoot it to you next. Do you have a question?
Yeah. I noticed there were a couple IG categories on that wheel, and I know you've talked about liking Lord of the Rings in the past. Do you have any interest in getting into the IG division?
Yes. I just flat out yes. I've always
now that you have one belt, let's go for another one. Take it right out of Mike's hands.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready for IG tomorrow. Sure. I've always been interested in IG. It covers just a lot of things that especially when it expanded. This year, it covers just a lot of things that I grew up loving and already am a big geek for. It covers a lot of my loves. And I've always been interested, like IG adjacent, as you would call it, which many serious members of Corruption are. A lot of us are, because it's a very cross-divisional preparation kind of faction.
Y'all are a bunch of nerds, let's be honest.
A bunch of giant nerds. And on top of that, all of us coming into it already had our really big inner hey, from one champ to the other. Here's to Harper.
Apparently there's 2 belts in the same state now.
Yeah, he said this too. The state of Pennsylvania is now home to 2 MTS belts. So
that is right. I have the downtown belt. And I believe Harper's in Allentown, I think. He is repping just outside of Philadelphia in beautiful, beautiful Allentown. What was I just saying? I'm so sorry.
IG.
Oh yeah. Y'all
are nerds.
Yes. And so we all bring forward, all of us, especially in the faction, all of us already had categories in there that we were already pretty proficient in. I dabble in it. I kind of want to focus on one thing at a time. I don't know if I'm ready for both yet. And especially, it also has to do with what faction you're on. And honestly, I'm on a faction with some pretty killer IG players already. With the best there is, as a matter of fact, IG player.
Yeah, you have the current belt holder, no big
deal.
There's
a belt.
Yeah, we have an IG goat in our faction, and maybe possibly on a different faction, but I haven't really prioritized it on Corruption. And I'm okay with that. I'm not like disappointed. I'm okay with that because there's so many other things that I enjoy too. And I could put my attention on something that I really do care about, which is singles as well. And I have still goals that I have in teams too. So I'm not putting too many eggs in my basket. But you know, if like next year, I'm not saying like put me in a tournament tomorrow, but you know, if there's even a chance for like a one-off like IG match, if I could just at least debut in it, I'm not gonna have any complaints if that happens.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
People better be scared. Holy Lord.
Yeah.
Brian, you're up next.
So first things first, it was the belt as heavy or heavier or less heavy than what you expected when you picked it up?
I guess as heavy, because everybody's been talking about how heavy it is. So I was like, well, this is gonna weigh this belt is gonna feel like I'm carrying Dwayne Johnson. That's how it's gonna feel on my shoulder. And I was like, it's heavy, but I think I've been working out a little bit. I think I can handle it. But it just felt good. It had the weight of importance. That was the most important. That was the thing to remember. Like, it was heavy enough to feel really significant, and that felt pretty good.
And now that you have had your taste of a live match, how bad are you itching to have a live match in Philly?
Oh my God. I hope with every fiber of my being, because I know Christian announced them next season, that Philly is on the table for a live event. And I hope somehow, if it's something you have to work towards, I hope I can get in it. If not, I'm just going to crash it and demand a match, or at least just be present. I'm going to be all over a Philly live event.
Oh, I
can't wait.
We'll
all
sign
be there.
me up. Well, yeah, sign me up.
Okay, so I want to kind of talk a little bit about the match, and there's a lot to talk about with this match just because it is a 5-rounder, but it was a very up and down match in a lot of ways through these rounds. What was like the one moment that kind of stood out to you as either the turning point or a moment that you kind of remember the most? Because there's a lot of them, but I'm interested in seeing which one you have.
I think the turning point for me was the betting round. That was huge. I was obviously very excited after I got the 2-point steal in round 2 to get the lead, but we were about to go into the betting round. It was just like the game wasn't even halfway over. There was still a lot of big point swings. The 2 matches where the biggest point swings can happen, the betting round and the speed round, were coming up. So I was like, that's great that I got the 2-point steal, but I was still absolutely on edge. But then that swing was so big in the betting round that took me, I had to really center myself because I was just floored. That happened in a blink of an eye, and I was really floored by how quickly that happened. And I had to refocus. It shook me more than missing questions in the first round. It was such a good thing that happened that kind of shook me even more. And I had to focus even more going into the betting round because that was a big turning point for me. Where I felt like I really had an advantage now going into the rest of the game.
When he answered first, did you think that you may have missed it, or were you confident in the answer?
I was confident. I was just like, I thought he was gonna get it. I thought he was gonna get it, and then I heard him over there say "Blue Velvet," and I was like, oh. but I just again poker face. I didn't want to. I didn't want to I don't want to telegraph any moment before it just organically settles in the crowd.
I don't know how more of you don't do that, because I would have been like, that's wrong.
How embarrassing for you.
I could have had my moment of correction. It's actually
take it out of the Coyote playbook.
I could take a leaf out of that great guy's playbook. But no, I just was like elephant man. I was just like, I'm just going to say the answer. I just wanted it to speak for itself. But I I was confident. I was confident in my answer. I just knew that's why I bet 3, because I knew that I just had to swing big because I knew Ethan was going to swing big. And I wasn't expecting him to miss it. So I just thought it was we were just going to move the same way into round 4. And like I said, like when that happened, I was just like, okay, well, this is Christmas coming early.
How much did you like enjoy and or like feel doing the buzzer round? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
Because buzzers haven't really, I mean, they're just starting to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of the recent matches have been people that have never been in that position before. So how did you feel actually? Because you got some quick hands. Like,
yeah.
I was, but the whole entire time I'm like, who did it? Okay. But, yeah.
I was so excited for the buzzer round. I was so excited. I was intrigued. I mean, I love competition. You know, I grew up playing sports my entire life. So like that kind of challenge is a challenge that involves reflexes and stuff like that. That's exciting for me. That's not whether I've actually used the buzzers that they use like in the Schmoedown or not. It wasn't something that like I was like completely inexperienced. And I've you know, grew up with using comparable skill sets, you know, and so and I enjoy it. And I enjoy you throw in an element of competition where you're trying to get there faster than the other person. I loved it. Like one of my favorite games on like the playground was like there's that stupid game where it's just like you put your hands on top of the other kid's hands. And you
Yeah.
I used to play it so much as a kid.
The year of that has prepared you only for this.
Yes. So years on the playground of playing the hand slappy game was just like it was fate. It was fate. It led me to this point. But I was just really excited. I was really excited about the buzzers. I wasn't scared. The only thing that scared me was the fact, not scared, but the only thing that I was like, well, this isn't going to be a cakewalk was the fact that I was playing against Ethan, who also has incredibly hot hands. And I knew that it was just going to be like, you just have to be faster. Like, you know, like you just have to be on your A game. I felt confident in myself and my reflexes, but I also just knew that I have to just punch him up like that much more because Ethan's going to be firing on all cylinders and wow, was he like,
oh my God.
The timing he had on that independent, what year saw the release of Independence Day?
Well, that
and then
one.
The word after that, like told you what the answer was going to be.
Which one it was.
It was that one. And then he got the Halloween question off of
one name.
Actor.
One name.
One actor. I was sitting by PJ and he lost his freaking mind. He was like, what? He was like, what the heck is happening?
I think he knew it because of the word franchise, but yeah, that was impressive.
But yeah, that was scary.
It was insanely impressive. Anything off of like one name is always going to be obscenely impressive. And Ethan was like, that was the scariest. It wasn't the match because I knew I had angry Ethan on that side. I knew I had competitive Ethan the whole game, but like at the beginning of round 4, I had angry Ethan down by 7. Like, this isn't about to happen. Like I had angry Ethan on that side. So he was just, he was, you know, I in that situation, I feel like, especially when watching it back, I feel like I was just holding him off as best as I could. But I also came to play too. So fortunately I was able to get in the ones that I could. But they were close. I feel like the ones where I got over him were like razor thin, and the ones that he got over me, he like clearly got over me. So just hats off to him. He's
either
phenomenal.
Way, I don't think either of you let a question get finished, or even like
I don't think
remotely close to being finished,
or like as soon as it was done, it was both of you just like this. Like it was insanity. And people say they don't like the buzzer round. Come on, you guys.
Dude, I was last year. I got so stubborn. I was like one of them last year. Just hear me out. Just for a moment. Like when we were in digital, I was just like, you know, when you just love when you're a trivia nerd and you just love like answering questions.
Yeah.
And Fast Money did allow that. Like the digital age did allow that. I was like, well, if we could just answer questions, like why don't we just do that?
Yeah.
Like
I can
like
definitely see that from the competitor side, and you're like, I just want to answer movie trivia questions. Totally understand the
isn't
Fast
that
Money.
what this is about? Yeah, like I was drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit with that one last year. I was just like, yeah, Fast Money. We should totally keep it. And then even playing the buzz around in person, I'm just like, oh my God, buzzers for life. Like buzzers can't go anywhere. They're so exciting. It is. I knew it before. Like watching before. It's like it's more exciting to watch. It's more exciting to watch when you're watching the game as a spectator, and it's also really exciting when you're a competitor. And I really feel like I'm actually competing against the person. I really felt more like, obviously that was actually me and Ethan fighting against each other rather than us all fighting against either of us just fighting against ourselves, you know, with knowledge. So yeah, I can't deny buzzers are awesome.
I got a quick fun question. I'm interested in your response. I know how big of a supporter he is of you. How jealous is Adam that you got to perform in a live Cantina match for a championship fight?
He jealous.
Because I know he's watching right now. I just want to say
jealous isn't the word. Adam is such. Adam knows just how much to embrace the best things in life. So what Adam does, instead of get jealous, he just lives vicariously. I would say that, and he absolutely did that with this.
That's awesome.
And he's the best. He was beside himself, which you guys probably saw.
He was having the time of his life there.
He was. Because
he was.
I just want to say how when they're like, "What are your thoughts on it?" He just went, "Hell yeah!"
That's your answer right there. He jealousy isn't even the thing. He was just. I'm so fortunate to have you know a best friend that's supportive. And he was beside himself, and he is just going to get his shot, and he's that much more motivated to get his shot. Whether he was digital or in person,
that.
Yes. Well, awesome. Exactly. Let's
live match.
He did get his taste for a little bit of the live action.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a champ no matter what. He's as thoroughbred as a champion as I am now, and I just look forward to the greatest thing which I can only hope, which I have to work towards now this year, is Adam gets to play his first championship match against me at Spectacular. That would be pretty dope, but a lot of absolutely amazing things need to happen in order for that to happen.
Could you imagine, like, because this is a possibility, if you have a match against Adam at Spectacular and then Deception has a match at Spectacular.
Oh, Jill.
Oh. So you're not only competing with each other, you're competing against. Talk about corruption invitational, first of all. But like, that is a possibility that could very well happen.
Everything is possible, and it's all about which I've always said, taking it one step at a time to make sure that we get there. You know, that would be amazing. We are now gifted the chance to. Deception is now gifted a second life, again in the season 8 season, to play in the teams tournament. So you can bet your bottom dollar that we are going to use that new opportunity, use that to the best of our abilities. We're not going to squander it. We're not going to leave anything on the table. And so, we'll take it one match at a time and see what happens.
Fingers crossed. I mean, I need to stay neutral. I need to. I'm gonna hide
really,
my shirt.
Jill? When are you ever neutral? When are you ever neutral? Come on.
Never.
Seriously.
Okay, so now we're shifting gears. You win the title. You're officially the singles champion of the world. Your next match is against your faction mate, Mr. Chance Ellison in New York, possibly the biggest stage for a live event outside of something like Spectacular, because we know what kind of crowds New York brings.
Yeah.
How exciting is it that, not only are you being able to defend in a city like that, but also it's against someone like Chance, who has been in every single meeting and training session that you guys do?
It actually makes it that much more. I'm looking forward to it that much more. It's like playing with your friend. I mean, it's like, do you want to play a game of, do you want to play a game of pickup basketball against some random asshole, like, from like the neighborhood, or do you want to play your best friend? It's just there's nobody. That was not a direct comparison. There's nobody in the Schmoedown who's a random asshole. That's not what I was saying.
Who's the asshole?
Which one is it? Which one is it?
Shade.
It's Sean. It's fine. It's Sully.
You know what's funny is Sean would be like, yeah, it's probably right.
Yeah, you're right.
I know him in the background of all of the interviews, just like this.
Yeah.
He's having a good time. He was having a great time.
He's so zen. He was keeping. Somebody had to keep their cool, because I wasn't after that.
He's the
But yeah, I'm really excited. I think it presents like I was saying, it's actually more exciting to me in a way, and weirdly enough, less stressful. Takes a little bit of stress out of it for me, because I know I know even more so, I'm usually not worried about anyway, because everybody's so compassionate and warm and inviting in the league. Anybody who I've ever played in my short career has just been nothing but inviting and welcoming. But it's even more comforting, especially to be playing with somebody that you already feel like you know really well. And it's a fun challenge to play somebody who, you have more of an insider's look knowledge, because they have the same about you. And that's what I'm really looking forward to with Chance. It's going to be a battle, no matter what goes on the stage, no matter what will lead up to it, publicly. It'll be just nothing but respect between people who really know each other and like each other. And have been supportive of each other and everything. I want everything for Chance. I would love for Chance to win the belt. He works so hard. It's been a goal of his for so long. Yeah. I would love for him to win the belt. Just not on October 9th. Because Mama's going to try to defend. So
hell yeah.
That's
in the
one
words
situation.
Of Adam Collins.
Yeah. And when somebody's giving your best like that, nobody's going to lose in that situation. Besides, obviously, besides the obvious, nobody's really going to lose.
Yeah. I want to know, what was it like having Shannon there right at your side at the live event cheering you on? Because she was amazing that entire time too. That was so good.
Shannon already... Shannon already is my rock. I think I'm even that much more attached to Shannon because she was the only person I could interact with in the digital matches, and that she was my support system in the matches. It was just me and her in these matches I would go to, or Collins if we were playing in teams. So Shannon has always been, my guardian angel, the person who focuses me the most during my matches. And that just happened times like 400 when she was right there in person, just like giving all her impassioned speeches and everything, but just like grabbing me and saying them. I was just like, hell yeah. Like it was 10 times better than I could have ever hoped. I was so happy to be around her again. And it made it that much more special. That's why like I had nowhere to go. Even when I won, I was like, I don't know how to be in front of people. I'm just going to hug Shannon.
Well, that bar's not that big either. Like there's not a whole lot of space to.
Not at all.
You're telling
down.
me like my ass was like you could kind of hear it on the mic, like my ass is like knocking over bottles as I'm trying to like go around and spin the wheel, and I'm just like not trying to spill the stuff behind the bar. Not a lot of room back there. But yeah. But you make it work.
Jill, you had something else, right?
I have a really dumb question to ask you. It's really dumb and it's really stupid, but I have to ask.
I can't wait.
Pats or Genos? I had to.
I have to answer. I'm not gonna do the cop out answer and say neither.
You gotta pick one.
I have to pick one.
If I was to visit you in Philadelphia, which one would you tell me to go to?
You know, I might actually tell you to go to Ishkabibbles or Delisandro's. Ishkabibbles is right down the street from
the other
Jim's, which Jim's is another like internationally famous one. I hate Jim's because you can smell Jim's. I don't mean in the good way.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean in the grease trap way. You can smell Jim's a block away. And I've always hated that about Jim's steaks. But you didn't ask about any of those places. You asked about Pat's or Gina's. I clearly have thoughts on this. This is no simple question to a Philly native.
I need a whole episode of Marisol's thoughts on Philly cheesesteak. I just need an episode of this, like right now. I would pay money. Between Pat's and Geno's, I personally pick Geno's. I do think they make each one to order. You see them flipping out the fresh steak and popping on the little grill. I lean towards Geno's. I had a friend who used to be a manager there, so I would eat a lot of Geno's. I would eat it more than Pat's, but I would still definitely eat Pat's too because I was right there. Geno's. Both are pretty good. Yeah. Both are pretty good for, especially if you're coming from out of town. Both are still, respectable, of how much greasy goodness can be loaded into a cheesesteak. But Geno's, if you gotta pick between the two, go to Geno's, the big orange and white and black one. Noted. I just had to know. I just had to throw that question out there. I couldn't not.
You're good. Quickly here, Tim Sim with another super chat. Thank you, Tim. Definitely was a privilege to ask the big question in that promo. Thought others higher up than me would say that question instead. No, Tim, you did great, man. It was like the great little pivotal moment in that promo. It worked really well.
We love seeing Tim Sim in a promo.
Yeah, no, that was great.
No, cheers to Tim Sim. That was great, and Nerd Chronic, obviously,
yes.
For pulling it all together. But Tim asked me some great, when I was on the show with Tim, he asked me some great questions, and I never would have actually got to reflect and really let those thoughts out and say those things without Tim having a great conversation with me. So thanks to Tim Sim.
Cheers, Tim.
Raiko has a question here in the chat that I want to bring up. Marisol, is it easier or harder to train for someone that really knows your strengths and weaknesses, and vice versa?
It's both Chance and I are pretty strategic, so I think it almost cancels out. There's just not going to be, I feel like it's almost like a stalemate. There aren't that many ways to then overthink it. I'm saying, I think it really just simplifies it and kind of leans more towards just playing towards your strengths. If somebody knows you, if somebody's been around and been exposed to your level of knowledge a lot, there's not really a lot of out maneuvering or out, tricking them, I guess, or pulling a fast one, because Chance probably has a good idea of the things that I could work on more, and I have a good idea of the things that he could work on more. But even those, we're probably still preparing to counteract those at the same time. So you know, and in those kind of situations, it's more just easier to just, which I like to think of. I know there's sometimes I could be strategic, and there are some games where some games where I kind of lean towards, we both know a lot. Let's just see how this plays out. And I think that's kind of going to be I would imagine that's going to be the tempo in New York, which I think some of the best things at the end of the day is just a battle of raw knowledge. You know, so here's hoping that that's what's going to happen.
Are you both gonna wear Hawaiian shirts?
Decidedly not. I think I will say this, that I know that I'll just say this. I know that I don't want to call it maybe a side project, but like I know that Chance has been juggling a lot. Chance has been doing a lot, being a multi-divisional player.
Yeah.
And I just know that his heart is the most in singles. And I'm imagining that's what he's going to be putting all his big guns around tonight. So I don't think Hawaiian shirts exactly captures the level of focus that he's trying to bring forward into the match.
Very fair. Very fair.
Also, it kind of clashes with the blindfold for me.
That's
so
fair. Doesn't match very well.
They don't sell Hawaiian patterned blindfolds, as far as I could tell. So
darn.
All right, I'll end with one final question, but I want to bring up the super chat here from Maxwell Haddad here. Thank you, Maxwell. As always, congrats, Marisol. Super proud of you. Inspiring win and just an overall dope as F performance. Keep bringing the fire.
Thanks,
thank
Maxwell.
you, man.
Cheers.
All right, I want to end with this one because it's kind of the big question. Obviously, the thing that was leading into this was the first woman to ever hold the singles belt. There have been a lot that have came before you who have never had the chance to hold the belt. They have gotten close, Clark Wolf's, Rachel Cushing's of the world, and many, many others. And there's even some now who are very close at that as well. What does it mean to you to be able to do that and hold that prestige now that you're not only this small company of winners in the Schmoedown, but you are officially the first woman to hold the singles title in the Schmoedown?
And person of color.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, black person, but yeah. But yeah. Person of chocolate. That's really what POC stands for. It's so crazy to think that especially the names that you mentioned before, Cushing and Wolf, and the women who I watched and just watching them, just observing, did so much, was such an influence on me and inspired me so much, just by what they were accomplishing. It's really nuts to think that just right now, like after this past week, I now have an opportunity. Like I have an opportunity to have that same role for somebody else. And I'm not going to take it for granted. I'm not saying like I'm just saying that we have the opportunity now to, I guess, inspire is the word. I feel weird saying that. I feel
Don't at all feel weird.
No.
Don't feel weird saying that.
But it's crazy to think about how much of a beautiful cycle that kind of stuff is, and how it's contagious, and how it passes on, and how it grows, and how much of an impact one person can have on people they've never even met or they don't even know, and then that person goes and does things that they never would have thought they could do. And that's a beautiful chain of events that I hope, at the very least, that started with the women that I've been watching in this game before, just watching as a fan. and then getting involved in and the women who I play alongside who inspire me every day. It's its own cycle right there. But I can only hope that train is continuing, and that there may be somebody there watching me who I've never met. Hopefully will someday. But there could be somebody watching who's now going to push themselves forward or feel empowered to do something tomorrow that they wouldn't have done yesterday. Any little fragment, any little bit of inspiration that lands anywhere with anybody, man or woman or child or anything. It is unbelievable to feel that I was a part of something like that, something even slightly part of something that has that impact. And putting it all in perspective like that is really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say right now. I'm just
You're good. You are good. You are good. Well, I think that's a really, really, really good spot to end. And I just want to say, first of all, huge congratulations. I know it's very hard fought. You had to face someone who is probably having the best year he's had in the Schmoedown, and just big congratulations on everything you've done. I can't wait to see what happens the rest of the year, because it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it.
All I know is that Mark or Christian, when you walk out to defend, better scream out and all rise for Lady Justice. But it'd be too perfect.
The way that Shannon made everyone in there stand up, I was like, yes,
Shannon is brilliant.
Yeah.
Shannon is brilliant. I think I think there may still somehow be people who don't really get it, what Shannon does, like how well she does it. That woman is brilliant. She is brilliant. Vastly better in this than I ever would. Thank God I have her. Because I like I said, I would just be a ball of like I would just be one giant poker face, not reacting. But Shannon knows how to just turn every tiny little inspiration into gold. And that was all her. We had brainstormed that literally seconds before we started walking forward. And Shannon was like, I'll do it. I'm just going to say all rise. And I was like, let's do it. And then she knocked it out of the park. She's the best. Mm-hmm. Shannon Barney is the greatest woman in the world.
Cheers to that.
Well, Marisol, again, thank you so much for taking some time. I know it's a little bit late on your end, but we appreciate it. Love talking to you as always. And again, congratulations on your new championship.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me, guys.
Of course.
Can't wait to talk again.
Thanks, Marisol.
Have a good night.
Thanks,
talk
you too.
Later.
Bye.
Oh, so great.
I know.
So great.
I want to watch the match again now. I watched it earlier today.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was because I watched it when it premiered too, and I was there. I was in studio, and I still freaking cried like a toddler. Like it was just like I said, it just I couldn't even put words into how I felt personally when she took that championship home. And after her win, I was sobbing. And Marisol, thank you for letting me sob in your shoulder after your win, because I certainly did. And I was just telling her, like, I'm so freaking proud of you. Like, thank you. Just thank you for all that you do for us, for everybody. Like because I know all my fellow females who are here in this chat right now, I know that it's been an uphill climb for, and so just being someone who was a fan and still is a fan to this day, and finally seeing it's the same way I felt with Mara and Rachel and Clark and now Marisol, and it's so great that we're finally Marisol is the singles champion of the world, and she deserves every centimeter of that belt, and I could not be more freaking proud.
Yeah. And she's absolutely gonna inspire so many women out there to who maybe thought, oh, this Schmoedown thing is kind of cool. I know a good bit about movie trivia, but like I could never do this. Like, yes, you can. as someone who is about to go into a tournament and get a belt of my own.
That's right. That's right.
As long as Thomas doesn't drop it into the middle of that lake he was on today.
I know he's taken that belt on a lot of excursions. I don't appreciate it.
I audibly
He's going
gasped
kayaking with the freaking belt.
When I saw that, I went, like, that thing's just sitting on a kayak. Like, I can only imagine what freaking Alex was like. Oh my god! Like, yeah.
My heart.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, yeah, it was in our house for so long. I hate seeing it in other places, just in general. But he's toying. He's playing with fire.
It's coming back to the Damon household, but it is staying in Molly's office this time.
Yeah, I'll clean out one of these cubby holes.
There we go.
Throw it in with all the other crap. All I'm saying is,
so.
Oh, I was just gonna say,
Go
all
ahead.
I know is I didn't get to say it to her, but I'm just waiting for that Janine Marisol rematch at Spectacular. I know everyone wants Adam, but I need the Janine Marisol rematch at Spectacular.
Yeah, it would be really cool. We talked about it a few weeks ago. It would be really
that.
cool to see that. It would be really fun. Yeah, it's hard to transition away from that because it's great to talk about. It's obviously a big moment in Schmoedown. But we do have a few other things to cover tonight before we kind of wrap up. I want to make sure I bring up Tim's comment from the very beginning of the show. And it has to do with kind of what we're talking about here a little bit. Thank you, Tim. $20 super chat here. Thank you so much. And he said, it was amazing, but marred by spending the entire morning and afternoon talking to angry/frustrated Schmoedown Facebook members about why 24 hours before posting a spoiler pic of a huge pay-per-view match on the page is fair and not damaging to casuals. So I read this. I read almost all the comments probably a number of hours ago. It was like an hour-old post by the time I caught on to it. I will say this. If you are someone watching who is worried about spoilers, it was set in stone at the beginning of the season. Like, that was the rule. It was set. Everyone knew about it. You have plenty of time to know ahead of time. Look, after 24 hours, it's going to be posted about. Some people, yes, may take advantage of that and post a little sooner because of certain things that may happen in the space. Maybe someone appearing on a show or something, which is totally fair. Mm-hmm. But that's the rule that's set. And if you don't like it, I mean, I don't like saying it this way, but like you're just out of luck at that point. Like that's just how it's supposed to be. And that because I look at Schmoedown like a sport. They're not going to hold a World Series game for you to watch 24 hours later.
Yeah. And my thoughts on all that is they are considering this as a sport. While yes, it is sport entertainment, it's the same as WWE. Do you think
they don't hold those? They don't hold those results.
Do you think the WWE Facebook group or AEW? Do you think AEW was going to wait 24 hours to announce that CM Punk came back? No. Yeah, they're not going to. They're going to announce.
It's going to blow up Twitter in a heartbeat. Like the second.
And so it's like, and I understand people's frustration because it's like, oh well, it's not a nationally televised sport. Completely understand. I totally get that, but you also have to kind of see it in the way as of, so example, if I'm going to a movie theater and Endgame is coming out, but I'm not seeing it for another 2 days, what am I doing on Twitter? I am muting anything that has to do with Marvel, with Endgame, with anything like that. Like there are ways to avoid spoilers. It's really not that hard. Like if you're that invested in avoiding spoilers, unless you work in social media, that's what you do for a living, you can easily just avoid it. Like,
yeah. People act like they can't stay off social media or like it's so dumb. Spoilers are going to be out there and This
is the simplest way to put it. This is the simplest way to put it right there. Boom. Join the Patreon or stay offline.
I honestly stopped caring about like this argument comes up every
it will never die.
It'll never die. I mean, for our situation when we react, we know that the match is dropping at 2. If we're gonna do reaction at 6, we stay off of it for the 4 hours before our reaction because believe it or not, we genuinely don't know
No.
what is, unless she's like interviewing it or she's in the match, we don't know.
No.
So like we know 4 hours between 2 and 6. I'm not on Twitter. So that way I don't see it because there are certain things that may pop up. Yeah, seriously. But like I know for me, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to easily throw it out there. The Finstock Exchange Twitter, every time they do a match at that drops at 2, immediately when it's over, they post who won and make a like congratulations. I muted it.
Yeah.
I don't know, so that way it won't get spoiled. Am I still following them? Yeah, I can still support them, but I muted it because I know that's what's going to happen. So it's just it's a waste of time, honestly, to keep. And I'm not trying to be mean to those people that are saying it, but also I think the people that are saying it, the people that are responding, just leave it alone at this point. Let them just bitch and then move on. Because you're just going to keep repeating the same argument over and over again. It's literally the same stuff. So just honestly, let them complain. At this point, they know. And if they didn't, they should have learned next time. Move on. Because we've had this, it almost feels like once a month this argument comes up.
There's 2 arguments that will never die in the Schmoedown. It's the spoiler argument and the Star Wars needs to not be a division argument. They will never die. Like those are like I know
all those people need to go away.
But those are like they're just never gonna die, and people and like
they're just mad because they'll never understand what it's like to know this much about Star Wars.
Correct. But they're just
this too. Like you think people aren't gonna celebrate? Like
yeah.
Like come on.
Like for me personally, if I wasn't in Cantina and I couldn't watch the live drop of possibly the first female Schmoedown champion of the world, I would have not touched Twitter until I could watch that match. Like, and even if I did get spoiled, I wouldn't bitch about it because I'm an adult.
Yeah, what's the point in complaining about it at that point?
I'm an adult. I'm not at that point. It's my own fault that I went on social media. It's like you're preaching to people over your own faults.
And I understand that I know like people in Europe are typically asleep probably when it's dropping. But if it means that much to you, that should probably be, if you care that much, the first thing you do when you wake up. And if you can't, just know that there's that possibility. So stay off.
I mean, that's me if I can't watch a Marvel or a Star Wars film at midnight as soon as it drops, I go, I really want to go on Twitter. If I get spoiled, I'm not going to go cry to Lucasfilm that I got spoiled for this match. That was my own fault that I decided to go on social media.
No, just go yell at Ryan Johnson on Twitter. That's
freaking Ryan Johnson. How dare you spoil the end of Star Wars?
Jacob London, who is your football team?
I'm also curious about that.
When I saw your tweet today, and I went,
I do have I have a quick comment I want to bring up from where to go, Mr. Eli McKee here. If you were recording at exactly 11:22, your day is planned out to the T. Eli Mack, excuse me. His name is Eli McKee. Did you mean to say 11:22? Because that means you're planned out to the T, man. And kudos to you.
Good for you. The Cardinals.
Anyway, let's move on from this. Let's move on from this nonsense because it's a conversation that will continue to bring up. I want to talk about the match that happened on Friday day. Friday day's match was spicy for many reasons.
It's a spicy meatballs.
Let's talk about my new favorite rivalry, Miss Jill and Brandon Hanna. Like what?
Who?
What?
Who?
What?
I don't know who you're talking about. Is he the guy who made the Flintstones?
Jill only knows winners.
Oh my God. I'll be honest. So just kind of behind the scenes here. I died when you said, wait, have you won this year? Have you won this year? What?
Yeah.
I was like, I literally was like shocked. I was like,
The
whoa.
way that the crowd reacted, and, like even Christian was like, "Damn."
Christian. So I want to say, because like I obviously like Mark and Christian are my direct eyesight. They lost their collective minds, and I was trying so hard not to laugh because they were laughing, and I was like, okay, keep it together. But it was, yeah, thank you. I know how to handle Brandon Hanna. He doesn't, yeah, he can go off and do whatever.
Well, on the serious side, this match was incredible. Friday for matches was great. This was a great match between Brendan Meyer and Jacoby Bancroft. First round matchup, and for the most part, it looked like Jacoby had the match handled. He had it. He was winning after round 1. He had the steal to end round 2, and then third round just bit him in the behind. And Brendan does what he usually does and just finishes matches. He puts the pressure on his opponent, and this time it played in his favor. Jacoby should have won. Like, he was lined up to win.
Oh, yeah.
And all the luck landed in Brendan's lap this time around. And he moves on to the second round by the narrowest of hairs. But just what a great match. I mean, they both get categories in the second round that they really like. And then it comes down to questions that Jacoby just didn't know in round number 3. Molly, I'll go to you first on this one. What'd you think of this?
This was a really fun match. I especially loved how Jacoby handled spinning the wheel. He was very, very gentle with
dainty,
it, and
just dainty.
yeah. And I think Mark really appreciated that. And man, Brendan is one of the most, if not the most humble competitor there is.
So
he's sitting there with
it's disgusting.
Yeah,
him.
He's got the team's belt on his shoulder, and he's like, I just like do my best or whatever.
That's why Coy was like, "Can you listen to him? He has the freaking belt on, like his
right?
Yeah.
What are you doing?"
But yeah, I was kind of rooting for, not kind of, I absolutely was rooting for Jacoby, because that would have been
all of you
more of an underdog story. But he played great. Yeah. There up until the very end. But yeah, it was a great match.
I didn't know this was an actual stat, and this is ridiculous. He's never missed a 5-pointer.
Not surprised.
Oh,
Wow.
It's funny.
Well, I am for the way
Jill.
he came into the league, because he didn't start off as hot. Remember, he got KO'd by Bateman, like this second or third match or something.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that that's a big stat, because a lot of players. That's big.
Yeah,
okay.
that's huge.
That's huge. Yeah.
Brian, what'd you think? Sorry.
That doesn't surprise me with that little nerd. He
What?
What the hell?
He is a precious summer child. Don't you dare call him that.
The fine young tenderoni.
He is a fine young tenderoni. He is a precious human being.
Yeah, I'll say Jacoby probably had that match about 85% of the time. Like, that match seemed to be, that meter was leaning towards Jacoby. And then the third round came and it just started doing this. And it just swung just enough for Brendan to survive that match, because everything in that match, for the most part, indicated that Jacoby was going to win that match.
Well, from the first get-go, I mean, Brendan missed the first question, and it kind of like, it almost looked like it threw him off a little bit.
Yeah. So, the second I heard Inner Geekdom for Jacoby's, I went, oh, crap. Because that just didn't.
It was comic book movies, right? Was the category for the 5-pointer?
And it was like, so-and-so directed this.
It was Steel.
It was
Steel. Yeah.
That fabulous movie featuring Shek and Judd Nelson. Judd Nelson is the only reason why I watched that movie willingly. Gonna be honest. So,
I mean, I'm curious. I mean, who does Brendan have next?
Adam Collins.
Oh, yeah.
We get Adam.
I updated our graphic because there's one final singles match to play, but this is what the round 2 looks like. The only one that we haven't seen is Kalinowski versus Hauser. Everybody else is locked. So those are the current matchups that we're going to see for round number 2, which starts on Friday. The first match we see is Bateman versus Ferbetti.
Oh, yeah.
So those are the second round matchups. And yeah, in that bottom left corner, Meyer and Collins. I mean, look at those bottom 4. Oyama, Barbarian, Collins, and Meyer. That's a scary 4. That is
I will
a
say
scary
this.
4.
Man.
If Brendan expects to get out of that round, he needs to bring the A game. That was
Well,
like
remember the last time they played, they went to OT and Brendan almost knocked them out.
yeah.
He almost
knocked
took
him out of the
Collins out of the
tournament.
tournament. Yeah.
I would say that this was like a B game grade for
sure.
Brendan. Adam, you always have to be on A.
Mhm.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fair. Chill.
I mean, it was one of those matches because like during that day as I was watching the matches, I was writing stuff so I could like ask it after the match. And these are one of those matches where my questions changed so many times because it was like because Jacoby had it, and then so like at like round 3 I was like crossing out stuff and I'm like, oh god, like it was just this crazy match. But like I said in my post, it was one of those matches where I don't think anyone would have been upset.
Thank you.
I don't know if anyone would have been upset with however way it had gone.
I would have.
Well, because you're a freaking yeah.
I'm just convinced the Schmoedown Gatlets were like, are we really gonna let Brandon Hanna have a win as a manager? And then, like, at the very end, they were like, it's
Not
not
today.
Not today.
Someone did say in the chat that he's 0-2 this year as a manager. So
that's what I'm saying. It was just like, let him think he's doing good, and then we'll just pull the rug right at the end.
But
let's be honest, he's better at making enemies than winning
That's
matches.
true. Just made one.
You don't say. Right? You thought Chundru and I were enemies. No,
Yeah.
sir. Brandon Hanna, I'm coming for you.
Goodness.
But no, it was literally one of those matches where it A could have gone either way, and B, no matter what happened, people were going to be happy about it because there's just these two precious little balls of sunshine, both Jacoby and Brendan. Where like I said in my post, it was like people didn't know if there was anyone to boo for, which is why I'm glad Brandon Hanna was there, so that way we can boo for somebody.
Yeah, someone had to be booed, and it was probably Brandon Hanna.
Oh, it was.
It's one of those few matches. It's one of those few matches where both competitors walk out for their entrances, and they walk out instead of like doing like some crazy entrance. They're just like, "Oh, hey guys, hey,
Yeah, they're
everybody."
like, hello.
Yeah.
Here to have a good time and answer
Everyone
questions.
was like, "Yay, Jacob!" Oh.
But yeah, so Brendan Meyer moves on. He is facing Mr. Adam Collins next in I'd probably say the best matchup in round 2 because we saw what they did last time with each other. There's a lot of good matchups in round 2, but
No, not even close.
we're getting Collins versus Meyer again, which is a great let's shift a little bit to finish
Jake,
finish the show off
nothing is
with
topping Page versus Bateman. Nothing.
Well, yes, and that's because we all think that Bateman's going to get smacked down by the Boston Badass.
Just
so.
the amount of shit talk that is going to be.
That's
Language.
so true. They've already started. Have you not
whispered.
seen?
I whispered.
Like
I'm going to bring up a
Paige-
gif of Captain America saying language and just
right?
post it up.
But
if someone
so
captures it.
Paige called Bateman out on Twitter, and Bateman was like, "This child like does not
Uh-huh.
know what she's doing," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Ding."
Oh,
Here it
and we have a full
comes.
5 days until that match happens.
Lay down the hammer.
Let's rewind a little bit and let's talk about a match that we missed from 2 weeks ago. James White versus Britney Young. James White takes the victory on this one. He gets a big win for Corruption and moves on. He'll be facing David Del Rio next, but in a very close match. James was winning most of the match, if not all the match, but Britney put up a fight until the very end. She answered her 5-pointer like no problem and made James answer a bunch of questions. I really enjoyed it. It's always fun seeing Britney, and I think James is also very underrated when it comes to a lot of fans in the Schmoedown. So, Joe, what did you think of this one?
I loved this match. Obviously, I'm rooting for James in this one because but I've said this from the beginning of this crazy world that we're living in. I want James to have like his moment because because he was the guy who was flying in to tape some Schmoedown live tapings and be at free for all, and he found out that everything was canceled as he landed. You know, so it was just like this whole welcome to the pandemic, James. Like, you're not competing today. Welcome to LA. But it was a fun match, and I'm really, really glad that James took that W because I think he deserves it because I know how hard he works and trains for Schmoedown. And I think his strengths are very different than a lot of the high level competitors that are in the Schmoedown currently, and I think that is a very deadly weapon. So I think he's definitely someone to keep an eye out for. But I adore Britney. Like, she's just a freaking peach. So anytime she plays, I'm having a grand old time. So it was definitely a fun match. Glad that James took that W, but I was having a grand old time watching it.
Brian?
Yeah, no, she's definitely very entertaining. I love that she's like that hilarious bright spot even when she's playing like Shannon or Kaiser, like these grumpier characters. So yeah, so I'm never gonna not love seeing Britney because, like I've said before, you've got to have people in this league that they're probably not, let's be honest, going to win a title, but they're going to make you have fun seeing them. And you know what? They might pull off an upset. There's no reason why someone can't pull off an upset. Your opponent that you're playing could have a horrible game and you could take the win. Are you going to win a belt? No, but you're going to make people love you because of your personality. And I think she's absolutely one of these people that we love to watch because she's hilarious. She's freaking hilarious. James, on the other hand, he's great. He, like we've said many times before, he has been always dealt a rough hand, it seems like, when it comes to this game. So it's nice to finally see him go out there and get one of these wins. That would be wild, Becky.
Not happening, Becky.
But I'm very excited to see him move on because James versus Del Rio is like such a level playing field that I am very excited to see where the tables turn. Because if he beats Del Rio, like that's a thing. That
I would call that an upset.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So I mean, it puts you on notice. So yeah, I'm very excited to see where James goes. Britney, I love her joyfulness that she brings to this league, and I really hope she's going to be around next year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Molly?
I pretty much agree with everything that's been said. James is a great player. He had a perfect round 1 in this, I believe. And he's one of those. He's one of those players that during the draft, I was like, "Is no one gonna pick him up?" Like he was like
in the last round.
Yeah, he was a late pick on the draft, and I was like, man. But I think he's taking advantage of everyone who, didn't think he was good enough because he's showing everybody now, and
if
I'm
you
excited.
guys could have seen him play Back to the Future trivia.
I was just gonna say, and he's really good at Back to the Future trivia.
It was wild.
Yep.
He was flexing like no tomorrow. Like,
Although, he did get our betting question, but he didn't get the backup betting question that we had on the week.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel
He'll
good
know
about
when.
that. So.
The man knows his stuff.
You know,
He knows his stuff.
He does.
we gave it easy to him. We made it easy for him. So.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up tonight, everybody. We'll do some previews on the reactions this week. A lot of fun matches headed our way. We got a Star Wars match coming. We have
Do we know
Bateman
the
and
matches?
Betty. I believe it is Nikki DiMolanta and Ross. And then I
Ooh,
think it's Kalinowski and Hauser to wrap up round 1, and then
That
for
would
Betty
make
and
sense.
Bateman for Friday.
baby.
I don't
What a-
know if Kalinowski and Hauser is Thursday. That one I could be wrong on that one just because of Hauser's schedule and recording. Who knows? But I know those are the 2 of the 3 for sure. Maybe we're getting a teams tournament match this week. Brian Nussbaum said teams tournament brackets. I'm not sure. Either way, we'll be there doing reactions, hanging out, watching some matches. So make sure you guys are joining us on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Friday this week if we're able to do one on Friday, because I don't believe there's a pay-per-view coming up. And we'll be here for reactions right here at this time. Thank you. That is the Thursday match. Perfect. Thanks, guys. And before we get out of here, I'll let everyone shoot their socials and where you can find them online. Jill, kick us off.
Yeah, you can find me Jilly Marie, 2 Y's, 2 E's on Twitter and Instagram, and sometimes you can find me shooting up, calling people nonsense after post interviews. Don't mess with me. I'll mess with you right back.
Brian?
You can find me on Apocalypse. Sorry, my NyQuil brain is acting up. Apocalypse with Jake, where we talk movies and all that fun stuff. What are we doing on Tuesday?
We are doing one of our fantasy movie drafts, and we
that's
are
right.
recasting The Breakfast Club.
How dare
We
you
are
recast? You can't.
We are
That's your answer.
recasting The Breakfast
Here's your
Club.
answer. Here's your answer, guys. You can't. You can't recast The Breakfast Club.
So
That's your answer.
we are recasting.
No.
But
Nope.
we're doing it fantasy draft style, so it's going to be like
Nope.
a sports draft. So come
Nope.
by, hang
Quick
out as
5-minute
we draft
show.
our Breakfast Club cast.
You can't.
Molly, just
You
come into
can't.
the chat while we're doing it. Just boo.
Boo.
Molly and myself,
Boo.
because if you recast Judd Nelson as John Bender, I will come to your house and egg it. How dare you?
I'll give you his address.
Wow, that's harsh.
Don't do it, Jake. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me.
I
and
know.
Judd
I
Nelson.
know you will. That's why I
Hate
said
you.
it's harsh. It's harsh.
I will fight you.
Molly, what about you?
You can find me at Molly Damon on Twitter and talking Star Wars over on Star Wars Explained. We're going to be covering Visions this week. Super
That
excited.
comes out this
to-
week,
That's
huh?
right.
Is that this week?
Yes.
Mhm. Super excited to talk about that. All the episodes are dropping on the same day, so we'll have a lot
Guess
to talk
what
about.
the kids are going to be doing in class this week.
Watching Visions. Yes.
Yes, Rachel. I highly. Hey, if you want to come by a movie, that's fine. More people will be watching. So I'm.
I
cool.
will. I'm pretty sure
Jake
Sean
would
has
actually
the
be fine with
Apocalypse
it.
StreamYard still.
He
I
does.
will
I'd
pop
be cool with that.
in.
I'd be cool.
I am going to pop into the.
You know what? That's
StreamYard.
true. I might have to change some passwords around here. I'm going to be spending a lot of stuff on Monday changing some passwords so they don't get access to all that. Anyway, you can find me on Apocalypse Movies multiple times a week. Go check that out. A lot of fun over there. At Qui-Gon Jake on Twitter. 2 N's. Someone else took it before I did. Schmoedown POV Twitter. Streamlabs seemed to not be working tonight. I'll make sure that gets back up and running. Not sure what happened there. And then if you guys are interested, check out our Patreon. A lot of cool things. As we mentioned, our Back to the Future movie trivia was last week, and it was a blast. James White was our ultimate winner, but we had special guest Alex Damon joined us. PJ joined us. It was a lot of fun, a lot of cool questions, and a good time over there. And we have a watch-along coming up as well, so check that out. But for now, thank you to everyone for joining us. Thank you to Marisol for joining us as well. Big congratulations to our brand new movie trivia Schmoedown champion of the world. And to all of you watching live, love you guys. Enjoy having you guys here each and every week. Hope you guys have a great Monday and Tuesday, and we'll catch you guys back on Wednesday. Good night, guys.